Imagine you're driving home from a vacation and suddenly a bright light in the night sky grabs your attention. That's exactly what happened to Betty and Barney Hill on the night of September 19th, 1961. The couple, returning from a blissful vacation in Niagara Falls and Montreal, found themselves on a lonely stretch of Route 3 near Lancaster, New Hampshire. The night was as ordinary as any other until an unusual light appeared in the sky, an anomaly that would lead to one of the most famous accounts in UFO history. As the radiant object descended closer, curiosity overcame caution. Barney pulled over and with the aid of binoculars he peered into the night sky. What he saw was beyond comprehension, humanoid figures in what looked unmistakably like a flying saucer. Fear and awe wrestled within him as he relayed his observations to Betty. But what was to follow was even more baffling. As they continued their journey home, a strange sensation swept over them. Time, it seemed, had a mind of its own. Hours slipped away into an abyss, and the Hills found themselves arriving home later than expected. They couldn't account for this lost time, as if a chunk of their journey had been erased, wiped clean from their memories. It was as if they'd stepped into a void only to step out with no recollection of what had transpired. The encounter shook them, its eerie strangeness echoing in their minds, a haunting melody that wouldn't fade. They had glimpsed something extraordinary, something that defied all known laws of nature and science. Yet they were left with an enigma, a puzzle with missing pieces and a growing sense of unease. The Hills' unforgettable encounter wasn't just a personal experience. It was a landmark event that would forever change the landscape of UFO lore, sparking debates, theories, and investigations that continue to this day. It was the dawn of a new era, an era that dared to question our place in the universe and the possibility of life beyond our world. And so the Hills arrived home with a chunk of their journey seemingly wiped from their memories. It was the beginning of a mystery that would span decades, a tale of an encounter that was as baffling as it was unforgettable. The encounter was not without its consequences. Betty and Barney Hill's lives took a peculiar turn after that fateful night. The Hills were not the same after their chilling encounter. The event left an indelible mark on their lives in ways more profound than anyone could have anticipated. Both Betty and Barney began to experience a heightened sense of anxiety, a common aftermath of traumatic events. Their health too began to show signs of strain, suggesting a deep-seated distress that was not just psychological but physiological as well. Their nights became a battleground, tormented by vivid dreams that seemed too real to be mere figments of imagination. Betty in particular found herself reliving the encounter in her dreams, each detail etched with a terrifying clarity. It was as though their subconscious minds were grappling with an experience that their conscious selves couldn't fully comprehend. Realizing the severity of their psychological turmoil, they sought the help of renowned psychiatrist Dr. Benjamin Simon. What followed were a series of hypnosis sessions, a therapeutic tool used to unlock repressed memories. Under hypnosis, Betty and Barney offered detailed accounts of their abduction experiences. These stories were eerily similar, painting a picture of humanoid figures, an unidentified flying object, and a chilling encounter that was far beyond the realm of the known. These sessions served a dual purpose. They were therapeutic, allowing the Hills to confront and understand their experience, thus aiding in their healing process. At the same time, they were investigative, providing insights into an event that was shrouded in mystery and skepticism. Through these accounts, an intricate narrative took shape, one that suggested their experience was not just a figment of their imagination, but a reality that they had to live with. As they delved deeper into their subconscious memories, they began to piece together the fragments of that night, hoping to find answers. The Hills' lives were irrevocably changed, their experience becoming an enigma that they sought to unravel. Their encounter with the unknown left them with more questions than answers, pushing them on a quest for truth that would forever alter their understanding of reality. Betty Hill's star map and the physical evidence found remain some of the most compelling aspects of this case. Now let's delve into the enigmatic star map that Betty Hill produced under hypnosis. This map, drawn with an almost uncanny precision, was said to represent the star system from which her extraterrestrial captors originated. The map was later interpreted by amateur astronomer Marjorie Fish to be a view of the Zeta Reticuli star system. This interpretation, of course, stirred both support and skepticism within the scientific community. But the controversy only adds to the intrigue of the Hill's account. Turning from the stars to more earthly evidence, let's examine the physical anomalies reported by the Hills following their encounter. Barney's shoes were found to be inexplicably damaged, as if subjected to some unknown force. Betty's dress was not only torn but also stained with a strange substance. What could have caused such damage remains a mystery, and the puzzle only deepens when considering the final piece of physical evidence. The Hills' car, a silent witness to their extraordinary experience, bore its own peculiar markings. On the trunk of the vehicle, shiny circles appeared, much like a constellation of its own. These circles seemed to defy explanation and, even more intriguingly, reportedly caused a compass needle to spin rapidly when brought near them. Was this the result of some otherworldly technology or merely the imprint of a yet unidentified natural phenomenon? The debate continues to this day. In the end, the physical evidence and the star map drawn by Betty Hill serve as tantalizing pieces of a puzzle that we are yet to fully comprehend. They stand as silent testaments to an experience that defies our understanding of the world and challenges our perceptions of the universe. The evidence, as intriguing as it is, invites more questions than it answers. The Hills' extraordinary account didn't go unnoticed. It caught the attention of many, leading to books and investigations. So let's delve into the literature and personalities that were captivated by this captivating tale. One of the first and most definitive works on the subject is The Interrupted Journey, penned by John G. Fuller. Published in 1966, this book offers a comprehensive account of the Hills abduction experience. It's largely based on the transcripts of the couple's hypnosis sessions with Dr. Simon. Fuller's book brought the Hills ordeal to the forefront, taking it from an obscure local incident to a topic of national intrigue. But the literary journey didn't end there. Captured, the Betty and Barney Hill UFO experience came into the picture, co-authored by Stanton T. Friedman and Kathleen Marden, who happens to be Betty Hill's niece. This book revisits the case with fresh perspectives, new evidence, and analysis, offering readers a deeper dive into the enigma that is the Hills abduction. And speaking of Stanton T. Friedman, he's a name that's become somewhat synonymous with UFO studies. A nuclear physicist by trade, Friedman turned professional ufologist and was among the first to investigate the Hills case. His interest added a layer of scientific curiosity and credibility to the case, further fueling public interest. But it wasn't just the UFO enthusiasts who were drawn to this story. Skeptics and members of the scientific community also took notice, leading to a wide range of views on the abduction claim. The polarized reactions only served to make the Hills story more captivating, sparking debates and discussions that continue to this day. In essence, the Hills encounter became a catalyst for a wider conversation about extraterrestrial life and the possibility of contact. From books to public figures, their tale became a cornerstone of UFO lore, a story that continues to intrigue and mystify. For better or worse, the Hills story had now entered the public consciousness. As with any mystery, the Hills account sparked a myriad of explanations. Diving right into it, the psychological viewpoint takes a deep look into the stressful living conditions of Betty and Barney Hill. Some researchers and psychologists suggest the Hills' experience was likely a hallucination fueled by the immense stress they faced as an interracial couple in the America of the early 60s. Barney, an African American, and Betty, white, were undoubtedly exposed to societal pressures and prejudices that could have induced high levels of stress, potentially leading to vivid shared hallucinations. On the other side of the coin, skeptics offer a more grounded perspective. They propose that the Hills misidentified natural phenomena or aircraft lights on that fateful September night. The skeptics point towards sleep deprivation and the power of suggestion, particularly under hypnosis, as potential culprits for the Hills' detailed abduction account. They argue that the human mind, when starved of rest and influenced by suggestive interrogation, can create incredibly detailed and convincing narratives. But of course, the UFO community sees things a bit differently. To many within these circles, the Hills account is one of the most credible and detailed accounts of alien abduction. The specificity of their shared experiences, the physical evidence, and the star map drawn by Betty under hypnosis All these elements build a compelling case for those who believe in extraterrestrial encounters. Some theories even go as far as suggesting government cover-ups and advanced alien technologies. These theories propose that the government has been involved in suppressing the truth about the Hill's experience and other similar cases. They suggest that extraterrestrial beings have been interacting with humans for a considerable time, using advanced technologies far beyond our current understanding. The believers in the UFO community also point out that the Hills had nothing to gain from fabricating such a story. In fact, they faced ridicule, scrutiny, and personal discomfort in the aftermath of their public disclosure. This, in their view, adds a layer of credibility to the Hills' account. Yet, despite the multitude of theories and explanations, the truth remains shrouded in mystery. The Betty and Barney Hill abduction case serves as a fascinating study of how different viewpoints interpret the same event. It highlights the human desire to make sense of the inexplicable, to find answers, and to seek the truth. Whether the Hills really encountered extraterrestrial entities that night, or if it was a product of stress, sleep deprivation, or an overactive imagination, is a question that remains unanswered. But one thing is certain, their story has become an integral part of UFO lore, sparking discussions, debates, and investigations that continue to this day. The truth, it seems, is as elusive as the entities the Hills claim to have encountered. The Hills' story was more than just a personal ordeal. It had a far-reaching impact on American culture. Suddenly, the narrative of alien abduction was thrust into the spotlight, sparking intrigue, skepticism, and a touch of fear. The Hills' account may have been one of the first, but it was certainly not the last. Their story set a template for many similar reports that would follow, creating a ripple effect that continues to this day. The Hills' encounter introduced a new dimension to the UFO phenomenon. Before this incident, most UFO sightings were just that, sightings. The concept of abduction, of human contact with extraterrestrial beings, was a game changer. It gave a new depth to the UFO lore, a new level of interaction, and a new degree of believability. This narrative provided a framework for subsequent abduction stories, many of which echoed the Hills' account in striking ways. The Hills' tale also had a profound influence on popular culture. It inspired books, movies, and TV shows and became a recurring theme in science fiction. The story of Betty and Barney Hill was no longer confined to the realm of UFO enthusiasts. It had permeated mainstream consciousness, providing fodder for countless imaginations and sparking endless debates. But perhaps most importantly, the Hills' account challenged our perception of the universe and our place in it. It forced us to entertain the possibility of life beyond Earth, to grapple with the implications of such a reality. It made us question, wonder, and dream. It made us look up at the night sky, not just with curiosity, but with a sense of awe and a thirst for understanding. The impact of the Hills' account is difficult to quantify, but its influence is undeniable. It marked a turning point in the history of UFO phenomena, a defining moment that continues to resonate. The Betty and Barney Hill abduction case, whether true or not, forever changed the way we look at the stars. The Hills' story, a blend of mystery, intrigue, and controversy, continues to captivate us even today. This tale of an unassuming couple encountering the inexplicable on a quiet New Hampshire road in 1961 has become a touchstone in the lore of extraterrestrial encounters. The aftermath of their encounter was characterized by anxiety, health issues, and vivid dreams, leading them to seek help through hypnosis. Their sessions with Dr. Benjamin Simon revealed detailed accounts of their alleged abduction, adding layers of depth and complexity to their narrative. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence offered in their account is the intriguing star map. Betty Hill, under hypnosis, drew a map of an alien star system, which was later interpreted as the Zeta Reticuli star system by an amateur astronomer, sparking debates in the scientific community. Physical evidence such as Barney's damaged shoes, Betty's torn dress, and shiny circles on their car's trunk that caused a compass needle to spin further fueled the intrigue. Their story has been immortalized in books such as The Interrupted Journey and Captured, the Betty and Barney Hill UFO Experience, and has caught the attention of notable figures in the UFO community and skeptics alike. While some suggest that their story was a hallucination brought on by the stress of being an interracial couple in early 1960s America, skeptics propose that the Hills misidentified natural phenomena or aircraft lights. However, many in the UFO community see their account as one of the most credible and detailed accounts of alien abduction. The impact of the Hills encounter cannot be understated. It introduced the narrative of alien abduction to a wider audience and set a template for many similar stories that followed. It's a story that continues to spark curiosity, inviting us to question, to explore, and to search for answers. In the end, whether one believes in the Hills account or not, it serves as a poignant reminder of our eternal quest to understand the unknown.